Hello class! Jordan and I would like to congratulate all of you on succeeding in week 1. We wanted to post a video that wraps up what happened in our course this first week. This week we had over 4,000 people enrolled in our course and 1,800 active participants. So like I've said before, you are not alone. We have groups of students joining us from all over the world, as I'm sure you've already noticed. There's no shortage of teachers and administrators from across the globe. We have a large group from the southeastern United States, especially Georgia, of course, since this is home of Kennesaw State University. I want to say hello to a group of nearly 80 educators in DeKalb County schools who are taking the course together. We also have a large group of teachers who teach in the International Baccalaureate program taking this course together. So thank you for joining us. We have representation from India, China, Brazil, Russia, Australia, Egypt, and of course the United States. In fact, not everyone is a certified teacher. We have paraprofessionals joining us, like Joyce Tench, who's interested in understanding online education better. We have several parents joining us too, like Sarah Brown from New York, who's learning everything she can about 8th grade curriculum and online learning so that she can really help her daughter in her education. What a dedicated mom. Each of you bring value to this course in the discussions as each of you share your unique perspective shaped by experiences in your school systems and your cultures. As you recall, we started this week with a pre-assessment. Most of you understood the value in taking a pre-assessment. We wanted you to be honest so the score you got will not be calculated as a component of your grade. I didn't expect many people to score high on this pre-assessment, honestly, simply for the fact that if you scored very well, this should indicate that you have much of the content in this course may be too simplistic for you. But I'm hopeful that that means you're coaching a group of teachers through this course. If you scored low or in the middle range, then you're in the right spot. Please don't feel discouraged. You'll see the exact same assessment in modules 4 and 8 again, so that you can check on how you're progressing. Some people asked why there were so many questions in the pre-assessment, and I'm sure that many of you already figured this out, but the pre-assessment was taken straight from one of our readings, INA calls Standards for Quality in Online Teaching. These are the standards that many online schools use to judge teacher quality, so it's an obvious fit for this course. You can read through these standards and reassess yourself at any time. In our discussion forums, classmate Donna Wojcik mentioned how even though she works in a school with a device for every child and teaches STEM, she still has much to learn. She talked about how quickly tools and methods seem to change, requiring us to be lifelong learners. From the pre-assessment, she was able to see that assessment specifically is an area where she needs to improve. Well, luckily for Donna, this is our topic for week 2. We're going to talk about active assessments and what this really means. After the pre-assessment, you watched the lecture videos this week. I was glad to hear that you appreciated the time and effort that the development team put into these resources. When it came to the readings, some felt that there was a bit too much. So I just want to bring to your attention that we tried to help you prioritize your time by using terms like read carefully, skim, and optional. The quizzes are all based on the lecture videos. However, your depth of learning is up to you and how much of the course readings you really consume. I want to point out that this is one of the ways that we've provided differentiation. Those who still have developing skills in English literacy may focus on the videos and concentrate their reading efforts only on those listed as read carefully, while other classmates may engage with all of the texts. Now let's talk about the discussion forums. The teaching team and I were really delighted to see how most of you were taking the discussion forums very seriously. The depth of discussion on these boards is impressive. These forums are very important to the quality of your learning experience. If you're giving us single sentence or just a phrase of content, it limits how classmates can engage with you. Thoughtful responses that also pose interesting questions or stir communication and make the experience richer for each of you. While you can still earn the necessary points just by simply interacting on the boards, I want each of you to get the most out of this experience. Remember that if at any point you feel harassed or anything inappropriate has taken place on the boards, you can flag that post to bring it to our attention quickly. We are a community of learners. The discussion forums are key to our process of social learning. As instructors, we have power, but as a collective group of learners, you also have power to steer the conversation in a constructive and valuable direction. To be clear, I want everyone to post in the forum at least twice, in each forum twice. Once to address the prompt and at least once to reply to a peer. In total, the grading system will look for 20 interactions in the board from each of you. And if you're planning to complete the class, they collectively count for 20% of your grade as stated in the syllabus. I want to highlight a great post that I perceived as insightful and intuitive. Tanya Valacia responded to our second discussion forum about the benefits of standards from her perspective as a beginner to blended and online learning. She said, "For me, standards form a clear pathway for me to work on, maintaining clarity for all the stakeholders involved and providing a roadmap on areas to check against and work on to achieve the objectives. At the same time, the standards are not rigid and allow for individual creativity and ideas by the teacher to come to the forefront, and at the same time keeping in mind the ultimate goal, reaching out and doing things in the best possible way for our students to acquire the requisite knowledge and skills, and of course, at a personal level, self-evolution as a teacher at all times." Thank you, Tanya, for your contribution. On Twitter, we also shared some other sets of standards. Did you know that iNACOL is not the only organization that's put out a set of standards for online learning? In today's announcement, I'll link to 3 other sets of standards that you can browse and learn about. I want to thank Dr. Michael Barber for bringing these to our attention. If you don't follow Michael Barber on Twitter, he's a fantastic resource, and you can find him at MKBSHU or at his blog called Virtual School Meanderings. I'm sure Dr. Barber would be happy to answer your questions about current research in K-12 online education. And if you are well versed in K-12 online education in a country outside of the United States, I'm sure he'd like to know you, so reach out on Twitter. While we can't respond to each individually on discussion forums, those of you on Twitter at Edmodo have had great luck in getting your questions directly to me and Jordan. I've been able to directly answer nearly all the questions that were tweeted directly to me at Loki Vega, and I saw most of those that posted using one of our course hashtags. Several of you are tweeting for the first time, and I want to encourage you to keep going. Alicia Jackson at DocOcean998 was learning the ropes and got her K-12 students to help her figure Twitter out. Great job, Alicia. Also, Jordan and I answered several questions about Coursera's verified certificates, which are not required for most learners, but some of you might be interested in that. I hope that all of you will join me in encouraging and helping any classmates who may reach out on Twitter, because many of you can answer your peers' questions. In addition to Twitter, we have over 150 members in our Edmodo professional learning group. There, we have mostly shared introductions, but also engaged in a quick poll for the fun of it. Feel free to post interesting links or post questions. If you haven't joined one of our social media tools, it's not required for the class, but it is a great way to feel more connected to your peers and us, the teaching staff. In week 2, we're going to talk about what good teaching is online. I think you'll see many similarities to good teaching in the face-to-face classroom. Remember to prioritize your time and pay attention to terms like optional and skim. This week you have a quiz and only one discussion forum, so make it good. At this point, your friends can still join our class. However, the first quiz is penalized by 50% for being late. That's still plenty of points to still have a good chance of earning a statement of accomplishment at the end of the course. I want to thank my teaching team, Jordan, Chris, and Stephanie, for a great week. All 4 of us especially want to thank each of you again for joining our community. As teachers, we are all loving this experience, and personally, I genuinely enjoy engaging with you on social media, so please reach out to us. I hope everyone has a great week too, and don't forget to tweet us your questions. Bye!